#1 spot in the grid counts for a lot. Pole position for our reigning champion.
Yeah, and great start for Dominic Doyle as well. Matthew Chapin there rounding out the front row.
And Sean Ungorski doing a very good job on the number 48 to give himself the chance of a best ever finish here in the SC Project Twins Cup. We've got plenty of rookies in the class as well. Levy Batty on that third row of the grid.
Levy Batty, Isaac Woodworth, also another rookie there on the fourth row.
And down onto the fifth row of the grid, we can see the likes of Chris Parrish, the inaugural champion in the Twins Cup class. And then onto the seventh row of the grid, we've got plenty of riders worth keeping an eye on, Rog, because they're all going to be in the fight for that final points paying position in 15th spot.
Yeah, and all these guys, there's going to be battles all throughout the pack. So even if you're a little further back, the draft's not going to, the plan's not going to change.
Yeah. Stepping up to the Twins Cup class for this season, and we're just about to get ready for 9 laps of action here in the Twins Cup. When the red lights go on, we just wait for the race to start. And on that pole position, Alessandro Di Mario, he's led the way all the way through this weekend, but now is the moment to see whether or not he can lead all the way through 9 laps of Twins Cup action here at Daytona International Speedway. And on the run in towards the first corner, it looks like Dominic Doyle made a great start from the middle of the front row, but Di Mario tried to hustle him out on the run in towards turn 1, but not able to do it. Dominic Doyle gets the whole shot.
Great start by Dominic Doyle, being pretty aggressive early on, and that's what he needs to be. Sean Ungorski also great start in the third. Matthew Chapin didn't get off quite that well off the line. He's down into fourth. Yeah,
and for Chapin, we're able to see still able to keep himself up there. He said his confidence is high and he's ready to roll here at the opening round of the year. But stepping up from the Junior Cup, it is a big challenge just to get used to the Twins Cup bike as well. But he's been fast all the way through this weekend. But right now on lap 1, for the first time this weekend, Rog, we've got Di Mario having to do some chasing.
Yeah, and this is a good spot for Dominic. Just get a good start, try to set the pace early on. Dominic's had a lot of bad luck here at Daytona, and hopefully today's those days he could put it behind him. But Avery Dreyer also trying to go with this top 4 group that's trying to slowly pull away already.
Yeah, and what we can see here is a Yamaha in front, and Aprilia in second, and then a Yamaha in third, and a Suzuki up there in fourth. So good variety here in the Twins Cup. All these bikes, 2-cylinder machines, but they're all able to find different ways to find their speed. And you can see already here on the opening lap of this 9-lap race for the Twins Cup, the draft so important. The front 4 starting to break away already, Rog.
Yeah, and also look at Matthew Chapin, the Suzuki. Changed the rules a little bit this year with the Suzuki and the Yamaha. You kind of bunch these guys up a little bit. You can see on the banking, all of these guys were just so competitive. You got the Yamaha, you got the Suzuki, you also have the Aprilia, all in the lead pack, and this looks so even.
Yeah, and that parity really is the important thing. You can see there for Dominic Doyle just losing that race lead. The South African drops down into P2, but as long as you're able to stay in that group, that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all you want to do throughout this race. It's really hard to, unless you have really incredible pace through the infield, you just want to stay in that group and be right where you're at right now as this race winds down.
Yeah, you can see here almost 3 abreast on the run down in towards turn 1, and Rog, that transition from the oval down into the flash, and it can catch you out.
Yeah, Matthew got sucked in a little deep down into turn 1, runs wide, but was able to recover really well. He didn't lose a ton of place. He's still going to be able to try to make it up through this infield.
You can see
Matthew Chapin out of the chicane was a second behind this lead group and might go past him before the stripe.
He's not a second behind them any longer. You can see 3 abreast across the stripe, and this is where Chapin ran in a bit hot last time around. Let's see what he does this time around. Well, he's been stood up a little bit there by Di Mario, and Di Mario making sure to put his bike where he needs it to be.
Top 2 guys seem like they're really got the infield dialed in. They're able to pull a little bit away, and you see Matt there, and the draft going to be able to close it back up. Now we get a good look at the Aprilia versus Yamaha on the banking.
You can see there for the Aprilia able to sweep through on the Yamaha, and Di Mario back to the front, and the number 95 at Chapin just trying to give himself that chance to come back to Dominic Doyle. This is the area of the track though, Rog, where we've seen so many mistakes, so many incidents all the way through this week in all the classes. So when we get down to that last lap, the chicane really is going to be where the race gets settled in a lot of ways for some riders. You can see here as we come through the bank section, 3 abreast, and the number 1 of Di Mario just dropping to the back of the group, and he seemed happy enough to go fairly high and just to sit in the draft afterwards.
The Vansenhausen Suzuki is looking strong today. I mean, Matthew loses a little bit on the infield, and he's also a smaller guy, and he's able to really get in touch with these, and it shows you we talk a lot about the draft and being able to stay close enough to be able to use that draft. good rehearsal as these laps start to wind down. Look at Sean Unvarski also now right on here in this lead battle.
I have to say, I like what you see from DeMario though on the number 1 plate. Clearly trying to just put himself in a place so that at the end of the straight he's able to come back to them. He's using that rehearsal well. Hasn't won here at Daytona before in the Twins Cup class, champion last year, so he knows that this is a big box to tick for him.
Yeah, and he's in a good spot right here with the Suzuki being so fast, just letting it kind of pull him along all the way up to this battle. It separates a little bit through the infield, but that draft brings them all together as they head down into the chicane.
Yeah, and into the chicane is where we've seen Matthew Chapin on the number 95 machine very strong. That's the 227 that's gone down in the infield section. As the riders make their way through this drag to the line, Rog, you can see for Dominic Doyle, he's able to time that well, but Ungarski using this very well to be able to give himself that chance. And the 95 able just to keep himself in touch there as well. But a real battle here at the front of the field with these leading 4 riders. You could see there for Dominic Doyle, he was going to make sure he was going to break that little bit deeper than DeMario into that first section.
Just seeing where they're at. Cannot make the draft pass out of the chicane before the start-finish line. You see they all start to bunch up. Sean Unvarski also makes a move right there around Alessandro DeMario. It's not going to be close enough, I don't think, to pass Dominic Doyle.
Not quite close enough, but Dominic Doyle able to hold them off on the run through the chicane. And you can see there as they come across the bumps and the seams in the chicane, the 48 looking a little bit more stable than we saw earlier in the race. He's building his confidence, and the same thing definitely be said for Matthew Chapin as well. We know how strong his bike is in the draft, and in 3rd position right now in that orange Suzuki, just trying to make sure he's in that right place. Alessandro DeMario just dropped a little bit slightly back of this lead group on the run out of the chicane last time round, so when we get a wider shot we'll see where DeMario is. He's been the fastest rider all the way through this weekend and now able to use that draft to come back to them. Rog, it can be any of these 4 riders that we're going to pick as the race winner.
And it's going to be tough to battle, and it's going to see Matt again making that little mistake down into turn 1. Well, it just seems like he's able to make it back up in the draft. He made that mistake into turn 6, and now he's already going to lead him down into the chicane.
And Chapin on that 95 machine sweeping to the front. Dominic Doyle again strong on the brakes into the chicane, and Doyle on that number 25 machine knows that there's a chance of a 4th victory here. Let's see what Doyle can do in the run down in towards turn 1 here. We've seen him get that bike stopped on a dime and able to get it turned in, and Matthew Chapin a little bit deeper into the corner. Doyle able to hold that tighter line, and his bike is clearly set up well for that section of the track. Very confident on the front end as DeMario tries to attack back, but not quite close enough for that. Sean Ungarski comes through into 3rd spot. He's been okay through the chicane, but it's that drive out as DeMario makes his step into the race lead. And the number 25 Dominic Doyle, is he going to answer back, or is he going to have to defend here from the 48 of Ungarski? They go 3 abreast, and once again look at the 95, but he was sitting up a little bit early there, Rog.
Yeah, and it's good for him. He's just kind of right where he wants to be right on this group.
Off the track there for Ungarski. He's ran in a little bit hot into the chicane. 3 abreast as they come across the line, and they've got back marker traffic in front of them, and they're able to go wide from that. Let's see what impact that has in the run down in towards turn 1 here, and it is still the number 1 machine of Alessandro DeMario leading the way. Yeah, and you can see here the Suzuki of Matthew Chapin in the draft. We've seen him so strong in the run to the line, doesn't even need to wait until we're on that run to the line. Matthew Chapin on the number 95 machine, is he able to hold off? He is able to hold off the field, take his opening season victory here in the SC Project Twins Cup. 25 points there for Matthew Chapin, and a superb debut here for him in the Twins Cup. This is the battle for 5th position. You can see Levy Batty on the 71 machine trying to come through, but it's his teammate on the 27 driving around the outside, Isaac Woodworth, trying to take that 6th position. He does take that 6th position. Yeah, 16 points for Dominic Doyle there in 3rd position, and considering that he's had 5 consecutive non-finishes here at Daytona, I think he's going to be pretty pleased with that podium. And you can see here for Chapin down there in Park Ferme, down in Victory Lane, lead after the opening race of the 2025 campaign.
Yeah, Dominic Doyle should be happy with that ride. He did everything. You know, he looked a little down in his interview, and he should be really happy with that performance. He did everything he could. He put himself in the right spots.
It was less than a 1/10 of a second between Chapin and DeMario, with Dominic Doyle less than a 1/10 away from that 2nd spot as well. So really close battling at the front. 4 riders separated by a second, and then Avery Dreyer in 5th spot with a comfortable margin in hand over the 3-rider battle across the line. Isaac Woodworth was able to come away with 6th position ahead of Cunnison and Levy Baddy. And the top 10 was wrapped up by Seth Damer in 10th position. And our final points paying position in 15th was Cassidy Haser. And on that Suzuki, able to pick up that points paying finish, Rog.
Yeah, that's a great ride. Start the year out with the point.